Hello, we are Manchester Clubhouse. Welcome to Mindful Mingle, Episode 1. Thank you for joining our conversation and how we became involved in the Clubhouse and our mission. Welcome to Manchester Clubhouse. Here with
Steve,
Tom. So what's going on today, guys? What are we up to? How are we doing?
Today I am feeling fantastic. How's about you, Sean?
I'm good. I'm feeling okay. So we're all trying to just dive in. We want to tell stories. We want to, give background about what we've done, to get where we are today. So yeah. Background story.
My background story is I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
Because my background story is kind of long. So, I was adopted at the age of 6, and I moved around a lot from the Portsmouth area to Alton to Milton,
Yeah.
and when I got into my adult years, I continued that trend by moving to Rochester and into Maine.
Because I want to make sure I get you guys and where you're from and how you ended up at Clubhouse and talking about what you've done in Clubhouse so far and stuff like that.
I was going to get to how I got to Manchester Pathways. I had just started living here in Manchester, and I learned about this clubhouse through my guardian. And she told me that there is this clubhouse that she thinks would be very beneficial to my overall being.
Mental health,
Yeah.
Yep.
And she gave me the address after I had freshly moved into town. I've been here since sometime in, I want to say June or July
June or July when you started. Great. So how do you like it so far? Have you learned anything from that time till now?
Well, I kind of faded out, and now I'm coming back in.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure if I was going, how I was going to take it to this clubhouse.
Yeah. How are you going to get here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't have my own means of transportation. I have to have someone drive me.
Yeah. You have to have somebody drive you. So what are your goals while you're here? Are you learning? What are you learning? Are you learning how to professionally talk to people, or what are your goals?
How to be more professional, really.
Be more professional?
Yeah.
No, I can totally agree with that. Yeah, me also.
Because the key thing for me is boundaries.
Yeah.
Learning professional boundaries.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because.
So how long were you there?
8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
That's a pretty long span to hold a job for.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. So did you develop a mental health problem while you were at work, or?
The mental health problem for me started long before my employment phase.
Okay. So it was before. So you managed to overcome.
Yeah.
Your mental struggles and actually worked for 8 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What about you? What's your background?
I started my problems about back in October. I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't figure it out, so I called my parents. I lived in Maine at the time, and they came up, they got me, they brought me down to the hospital. The hospital was about to give up on me, and the right doctor saw the right thing at the same time. They said, this is not a mental problem, it's a medical problem. So it turns out that I had an infection in my brain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a horrible struggle to go through, man.
I am very recovered now.
Are
Not
you?
completely, but almost there.
Okay.
I've been doing therapy for the last 6 months. They've been going hard on me. And actually, it was my therapist that came up with the pathways to get me out in the community, get me around with some people that might have common things.
Yeah.
Because the brain stuff is not common. When I got out of the hospital, I could not button my own shirt.
Wow.
Exactly. That's some struggles to overcome, man. And I can totally agree with you. We've kind of just hung out with each other today, huh?
Yeah.
Getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to meet
The
you guys.
therapy
and
was the biggest thing for me.
The therapy, like
yeah,
the therapy.
occupational therapy, speech therapy, and I had physical therapy too because I had some disc problems, so they wanted me to get back in shape. And
Okay.
when I was in the hospital, I gained a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
At my age, it's harder to get it off.
Like, definitely.
So I have a pretty strict workout routine now.
Okay. All right. Great. You feeling better now? You feeling like you kind of back to your old
Actually,
self? Almost?
I've started the whole looking at jobs, what I can do,
Yeah.
talking to Patton,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So it looks like I'm going to be working sometime in the future.
Yeah. That's great, Pat.
I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to go back, like, because I
Yeah.
just sit at home and do therapy all the time. If we go me and my mom go grocery shopping together.
Yeah.
Because we do our separate cards for our separate groceries.
Yeah.
Because I get benefits for groceries.
Mm-hmm.
My backstory a little. I had to do occupational therapy myself.
Yeah, it was hard.
But for me, it was because my doctor didn't know what was wrong.
Yeah.
So they made sure of it that I saw the right specialists.
That's when they found out what it was, they sent me to the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they never found out, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, me too. I've had a lot of struggles with like mental health problems. I mean, I have to take medicine and stuff like that, and it stinks.
Same here.
But I keep moving and I keep doing things, and I'm pretty professional artist around Manchester for my artwork. I stay busy. You know, I got notes from like Portsmouth today about a painting that I donated to the city, and they wrote me a nice letter back. And yeah, so I just keep on doing my art, keeping myself occupied so I don't think too much. I try to stay focused on my art. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And
I'm really excited to get back to work. I don't want to go back to the restaurant industry, though.
Okay.
The restaurant industry is very stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
And
imagine.
stress might just bring it all
The
back.
stress. I can relate to that because I did work for. Well, it wasn't really restaurant work, but it was like fast food.
Okay, I've done fast food and fast food management before. I worked at
And
McDonald's all through high school, and by the time I graduated, I was one of the managers
I
Oh, okay.
was working
I did it
for Five Guys
for the first.
here
Okay,
in Manchester,
Five Guys you
yeah,
working
I
at?
love
Yeah.
Five Guys.
and a few of my customers actually thought I was the manager
Yeah.
because of how well I held myself.
Exactly.
Yep. As soon as I was 18, they made me a manager.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you had to be 18 to do all the money
Okay.
and be in charge of all of the employees.
Yeah. That's a great. So how old are you now?
I'm 41 now, or 41 in April.
41. Yeah, I just turned 40. What about you?
I'm
Sid?
33.
You're 33. Okay.
Yeah, I just turned 33. I was born.
I wish I was still in my 30s.
I was born in December.
Oh,
December.
Yeah.
I was April. My brother's August.
My dad was born in April.
April?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, April.
But when he had me at the end of the year.
Yeah. That's like my brother and my nephew are in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, both in August.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually in
My
February.
dad's in May.
Oh, you dad's in
And my parents' anniversary is 2 weeks after my birthday. Yeah. But they were married for 2 years when they had me.
Mm.
So you
They were
guys
still
all have like, you guys have good family life and stuff like that? Like
No,
good
not
support?
for me. Not really.
Not for you, Steve?
Because like I said earlier, I was adopted,
Okay. You're adopted, huh?
so I don't know much about my family, like my true family.
Yeah. That's gotta be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just learned during, like, when we were first starting the podcast, I had just learned that my biological father was a recipient of the Purple Heart.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
And
It's quite an honor.
it is. And he was also a Bronze Medal of Honor.
That's quite an honor.
And you, was that for the Army?
Yeah, he was Standard Army. He served 40.
Is he still alive?
No.
No. Did he pass or
Yeah, he passed away in 2009.
2009?
Yeah.
Of like from old age or
He was 65 years old when he passed.
65.
Yeah. And he had a heart attack when he died. They were trying to bring him back to life, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's tough and stuff. All right. So, what are you guys trying to like? What's your goal as you come to Pathways?
My goal is to, like I said earlier, it's to be more professional.
Just be more professional. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that, and I also want to find a place in this world because because of the fact that I've been moving from place to place, I've had a hard time staying grounded.
Yeah. So you're looking to find your way, get connected with what you love to do. I mean, obviously, just coming to Pathways every day is a great blessing because the new people all the time.
Yeah.
And then we have members come in, and we're all supporting each other here, and it's just really beneficial for people with mental health problems to come in here, and it's like, wow, these guys are like my peers. And know what it's like to struggle with all this stuff, and that's cool, that we all met here.
I don't just get anxiety. I was diagnosed with a dissociative disability because of my early childhood. So
you feel like you've like overcome that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So now you're moving forward, and you're like, hey, I'm all, I'm stable. I can start functioning the way, back to the way I was functioning before or whatever. And then, I know that getting a job was really important to me. So I did, I work at Goodwill right now, which I've been there for 3 years. It's been good. I do the cash register right now. And I may not be able to, I got a certain amount of money that I can make. I can't make, as much as I want. I have to stay because I need my insurance for my medicine and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have we have unique situations where we have to understand, where there's stipulations, and we can only do so much, with collecting like disability or whatever it is that you collect. So
I have to be mindful of how much money I can make because I'm on disability.
Yeah, that's exactly my situation.
And I have to I'm allowed to work.
Yeah.
But I can only work a certain number of hours.
Exactly.
So I can make a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've calculated all that and stuff like that. So it's hard to cut. It's hard to manage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because I'm
difficult.
gonna start like part time and work my way into full time.
Yeah.
I have already lived on my own before.
Wow.
I lived on my own for over 10 years in Maine,
Yeah.
and the cost of living in the places I lived was high.
Was this before like you had?
At the end of living there is when it started acting weird, and people were calling my parents.
Okay.
And being like, he's just not him.
Okay.
He's just not him. And I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
So you're just not acting properly.
One day I was just like, what is going on with me?
Yeah.
So I called my mom. I go, something is wrong.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's wrong.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they came all the way from here, went all the way up to Old Orchard Beach, and got me.
Old Orchard Beach is not a bad place. I used to live up by that beach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I had an apartment on Atlantic Street.
I was living in a trailer park.
I lived in that for a little while.
Yeah.
The one all the way down?
Yeah.
I
was living in that
I
trailer
lived in
park.
there for about a year, and then I moved down to Atlantic Ave. And I had a big apartment right off
Small
the
world.
beach. Oh, I liked living there. I'm just over the lifestyle of there.
Yeah.
It was not going in a place that was good.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah,
I need to do
wasn't.
something else. It just, that happens.
And like, while I have a very long career in the restaurant industry, very long career, a lot of management, a lot of chef work, a lot of knowledge about food, a lot of knowledge about service. I was a bartender, server.
And this was
whole-
like before you had a crisis.
Yeah, my whole life I worked in restaurants.
So you were like completely fine for a while,
yeah.
and then you developed.
So I have a degree in architecture and civil structural engineering.
Are you serious?
Associate's degree, but yes. But associate's degree, that's basically a bachelor's and an associate's degree.
Oh.
It was hard. It was hard.
Oh my god, dude! So was this
and
before?
I graduated top of my class.
Okay.
Yes, I was very smart with the math and the science.
Okay.
And then the design part I just had down.
Okay.
I came from a family in construction.
I came,
Came from a family with a what?
In construction.
Oh, in construction.
Yeah.
and I came from a family of military.
Military.
So I wanted to go to school for something that I didn't have to work as hard as my parents worked, or my grandparents worked, or my
Yeah.
aunts and uncles were working. And that was their goal. They never wanted us to work. But my parents never went to college. So
Yeah.
when we started looking at colleges, we had no clue what to do.
Yeah.
So I had to go to technical school instead of like the school I wanted to go that was $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
The school I wanted to go was in Boston.
Which school? Wentworth?
Wentworth. My grandfather went to Northeastern. He was an engineer.
Okay.
Well, he's still around. But yeah, he was an engineer with GE.
Wow.
He went to Northeastern, so
Okay.
which is right next door to Wentworth.
I feel
Northeastern's
like
good college.
Yeah, but and then when I graduated, the whole crash of the construction industry fell.
wow,
When everything crashed in '09, that's when I graduated college.
wow.
I graduated high school in '03. I took my time getting my degree because it was so intense.
I
Wow. That's,
graduated in 2010
Yeah.
College?
from high school.
oh, from high school?
Yeah.
I was in college for only 1 year.
Okay.
one
So
year.
I graduated. So I did from 2010 to 2011. I graduated college in 2011.
Okay.
College in 2011. It only took you 2 years, or
It was only 1 year.
only one? It only took you 1 year
Yeah.
to get associates, or?
No, it was just for hospitality.
Oh.
Okay.
And I
yeah.
have a degree in hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's
That
fantastic.
makes sense.
That's
Because
fantastic.
hospitality is more experience than
Yeah.
education.
So we're all pretty smart, and we all pretty much know what's going on. I think all three of us have figured out what we were going through, and we're educated enough to say, hey, this is what I have. Hey, this is what I need. We're in the unique situations with how we function and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now we get the support from Pathways when we come here, and that's what we need, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to be in the hospital or any of that, any of that.
No,
We-
I don't want to do it.
we could, yeah. So we were able to accomplish the goals that we want to do through Pathways, implement them at Pathways, and then we bring them out into the world.
Yep.
And use our skills to move forward from there.
Yeah, I'm going for a much more lax, chill job that I
Yeah.
can work my way back up to what I was making before.
Exactly.
Because I was making a very comfortable living. But I was
Big
also
change.
working 70 hours a week.
Okay.
Oh,
I was in charge of the kitchen of the restaurant.
wow.
And then when it was winter time, I was bartending at the bar downtown.
I was working for Holiday and I was the assistant manager for housekeeping.
Yep. No, I had the kitchen manager title.
So Tom? So what happened? Like you had all this success at an early age, right? You were good or whatever.
Yeah,
And,
I
and
did,
then
like,
what
McDonald's
happened?
for-
Yeah, but what happened? Like for you to not be able to work these high end jobs that you obviously had a great work ethic.
So when I worked at Scales, which was I opened that place, but I also worked at Street and Company a little bit.
Yeah, like what happened? Yeah.
I had just decided that I wanted to go from back of the house to front of the house again,
Okay.
and it's easier money. I was kind of tired of getting up in the morning and working all day. I wasn't in a bad place when I left. I just decided that I wanted to serve tables again and make money, cash on
Sure.
hand.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't want to make the money hourly money. Like I worked 2 jobs at the same time, so on this I only had to work 1 job.
Okay.
And I got offered it really well, and I was there for a couple of years. Place isn't open anymore, but I was there for a couple of years, and I made good money. And then I got offered a job in Old Orchard Beach. And then I went back. They sold it. They were retiring that year. I knew it was only going to be a year there, but it gave me a year of being a head chef.
Wow.
Okay.
A head chef, not a kitchen manager, a head chef. I came up with specials. I changed the menu. I ordered all the food. I made sure the employees were doing their jobs.
And how long were you there for?
For that one restaurant, I was there for a year.
Hi, this is Steven, and you are listening to Mindful Mingle.